Alright, Schlockmeister fans, another review of my previous channel. This is Las Aventuras de Hambone, otherwise known as Hambone Hillie. Let's check it out. This is Lillian Gish, grandma, traveling to LA with her dog Hambone. Well, unfortunately, this little girl was dicking around, messing with Hambone, and he got away. So, Hillie gets on the plane, unbeknownst to her, Hambone didn't make it. He does manage to escape the airport, but he's a long way from home.
That dog has been my shadow ever since my husband died. You can't buy love like that.
Well, the first person Hambone meets is Tucker the Trucker, O.J. Simpson. So he tags along, and they head west. And he dumps his collar.
One thing I learned, you gotta bury the past. Doesn't look like you come in.
Well, O.J. leaves him outside while he goes in to eat. But give him credit, at least he didn't kill him. Tari Frogger!
Grandma, this is my own house, my life, and all my friends.
Besides, when they find Hambone, they'll call me here.
Now he's trekked across the rest of Pennsylvania and is near Pittsburgh, where he's going to share some KFC leftovers. On to the Windy City.
That's a good name for it.
Dog catcher.
Great.
Well, Scrapper, the dog you met, and those kids are going to try to rescue Hambone from the dog catcher. Well, the kids form a gang with their bicycle friends.
Hurry. Look at
Hambone is rescued, and the asshole's taken away.
What are you, crazy? Fine, get my car. You have a right.
They want me to move in with them. Back to New York, yes. And I'm thinking of it.
Later on, Hambone meets the skipper.
You poor little thing. You need something to eat and drink.
So Hambone spends the Christmas holiday with the skipper and his family.
Now, I'll read from our Bible.
Spring came early in Springfield, and Hambone decided to continue on his journey home. He befriended a rabbit along the way, and they decided to play in the road. No more rabbit. It was actually another dog that got run over. Hambone's friend. This guy found it, decided to bury it.
Listen, you.
Hillie's still getting pressure to move back to New York with her family.
What'd you wish for?
That you give up this craziness and come back to New York with me.
Maybe I will. Someday.
Are you still waiting for Hambone? I hope he comes back, Grandma.
Hambone continues further west and runs into a pack of wolves. Meanwhile, two criminals have escaped from prison.
Almost 5 hours now. Somebody must have seen him. We just got a report through the car.
Hambone shows up by this pregnant woman. You know those two escaped criminals are going to make an appearance. Sure enough, one of them has an axe, the other has a pitchfork. Oops.
These two special bones.
Hambone saved the day.
Think it more in terms of a nice, juicy T-bone.
Well, there's nothing too good for him, I'll tell you that.
Hambone moves on and he reaches, I believe this is Monument Valley in southeastern Utah. Well, the desert is really hard on Hambone and he collapses. Thankfully, he collapsed near this Mexican guy who was doing something in the desert. And they've got food and water. Next, he's going to try his luck in Las Vegas. And he was hanging out with this motorcycle guy.
Could have killed yourself back there. You all right? Yeah. What about him? He's not gonna like jail any more than I will.
6 happy years here. And your visits with children and Roberta. Remember when you gave us Hambone?
Yeah, you didn't want to keep him. We had to talk you into keeping him a week as a favor for the kids. How long did that week last?
4 happy years.
Well, with no Hambone, she decides it's time to move back to New York with her family.
Well, we're all packed, Mrs. Ray.
Just a moment.
Talk about timing. Hambone arrives just as she's leaving. All right, let's talk about Las Aventuras de Hambone, which is French for the Adventures of the Hambone. Or is that Spanish? That's Spanish. This is also known as Hambone Hillie. That's how I originally taped this movie off of cable. I had it on a TDK tape that I taped, God, way back in maybe January of 1985. A long time ago. I think I had the same tape with perhaps Christine, Hambone Hillie. I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe it was whatever the case. This is a family fare movie. It's about a dog named Hambone, owned by Lillian Gish, a screen legend from their 1920s or so. Much older lady here. This was her third to last movie that she did. She finished with Whales of August a couple years later, which I think she was nominated for Academy Award for that one. So power to her. But anyway. Lillian Gish plays Hillie, and she's in LA. She's a widow, and she has her dog who she loves, and she's about to travel back home to somewhere on the East Coast, like New Jersey, New York, something like that. She was visiting her family, and she's heading back with her dog, but her dog gets loose at the airport. The next thing you know, actually, I had that all backwards. She was in New York visiting her family, and she was heading back to LA. And Hambone gets loose and gets lost. So Hillie is heartbroken when she gets back to LA and finds out that Hambone didn't make it there. They can't find the dog. The dog is loose on the East Coast somewhere. We spend the rest of the movie watching the Las Aventuras of Hambone as he tries to cross the country to get back to his beloved Hillie in LA. Along the way, he meets a couple of families. They take him in briefly. The first person he meets is Tucker the Trucker, who, played by O.J. Simpson, takes him in. OJ finds, his collar, which has his address on it, but it says, you know what, you're a long way from home, and I gotta live life anew. And he takes the collar off and tosses it away, so no one's gonna know who Hambone is. So he takes Hambone in for a while, but then he just kind of leaves him outside when he goes to get a cheeseburger, and Hambone runs off again. So there you go. So Hambone is on the run again, and he meets a couple other families. He meets another dog along the way. They play for a while until that dog gets hit by a car. Ultimately, back in LA, Hillie is heartbroken, and without her beloved Hambone, her husband died a few years earlier. Without her beloved Hambone, she's just kind of lost, and she finally succumbs to her sons and family's demands to move in with them back on the East Coast. So she packs her bags, packs everything. The moving truck is all set, and they're about to go away. And just as she's like driving away, Hambone appears. He's made it across country, and he starts running after the truck and the station wagon that Hillie's in, and he's barking. There's a funny scene there where Hillie's like, stop the car. And they're like, what? Stop the car, I'll jump out. I like that. So anyway, she gets out. Hambone is there. They're reunited, and then they decide, well, since Hambone's here, I can move back to my home. I'm not leaving. So that's how our movie ends. Las Aventuras de Hambone. That is a Spanish DVD. I believe this has been released in Australia also. This DVD, I think, is kind of rare. If you're looking for this one, it's a PAL DVD. You probably pay at least $40 for it. I'm glad I have it. Again, I just upgraded from my beta tape, or I think I have this on a VHS as well. But yeah, it's a family movie. I guess it's probably rated PG. There was a couple of swear words in it. That's it. But I always enjoyed this movie. I don't know why. I watched this a few years ago, and I reviewed it the first time on my other channel. And I made my wife watch it with me. And to this day, she never lets me forget that she had to watch Hambone Hillie. And every time I bring this up, hey, should we watch Hambone Hillie again? I get that weird look, that strange look from her eyes that are just basically saying, no, I'm not fucking watching Hambone Hillie again. So there you go. But I watched it today by myself. So that's Hambone Hillie. Check it out. Leave some comments. I'll leave a link to something down below. Probably just the VHS, unless Amazon lists the PAL DVD. Check it out. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about Hambone Hillie. Watch it. Bye.